David Willetts, Shadow Minister for Universities and Skills, visited the UK's leading independent plumbing firm Pimlico Plumbers to hear from Managing Director Charlie Mullins about the need for further support for apprenticeships. The Shadow Minister took a tour of the depot before getting some hands-on experience with the company's apprentices.
Apprenticeships really matter. I care about apprenticeships, and here at Pimlico Plumbers you've got a fantastic reputation for running good apprenticeship schemes. So I want to see how you do it and how we can have more like this. I've been going around Pimlico Plumbers, meeting lots of people who both already qualified as plumbers and electricians, but also talking to the apprenticeships, the apprentices who are doing the course, learning the skills, combined with going out with the plumbers and electricians out on call, but also doing some training here at college. And it's fantastic what Pimlico Plumbers does. These are the skills that really drive the trades that matter to people. Any individual, any homeowner, any householder, worried about the plumbing, worried about the boiler, worried about the electrics, knowing that you've got a reliable person, a reliable tradesman who can come along and tackle those problems, it's a great service, it's a really worthwhile job you can do for life, it earns good money, it's a really useful alternative to the university route, so we back it.
Fortunately today we've had David Willetts down from Conservative Party and been very, very encouraging. We've been talking about apprenticeships, we've had quite a few of the apprentices in today, and you know, I think that we can work with David Willetts, you know, if they get into government.
Well, I finished my A-levels and I went into full-time work, and whilst there I decided I wanted to go back to study and take up a new challenge. I actually did a bit of research online and I applied through college that way. I decided to do my apprenticeship with Pimlico Plumbers because I know there's so much opportunity with this company. Obviously they're well established as well. An apprenticeship is important because you have to be out physically being hands-on to learn everything. There's only so much you can learn at college and there's only so much you cover, so to gain the experience is what you need.
In my apprenticeship I'm doing electric and MVQ level 1. My dad's a carpenter and he went through the apprenticeship and I decided to follow it, but he was suggesting other things and I've worked with other people and I decided I liked the electric side of it. To find an apprenticeship was very difficult. I went to college and I just couldn't get hold of anything. You either have to go to college or they're going to take you if you've got work, and how can you do that if you haven't got any of them?
I went about finding my apprenticeship. I looked on the internet, I went through my local papers and I rang up companies, and then Pimlico was one of the companies I phoned up. It took me about 2 months. I was out of work for 2 months and then I rang Pimlico with several companies, but it's not easy finding one.
Well, what we want to do is particularly help people who are 19 and older with their costs, because at the moment the government pays the full cost of training someone 16 to 18 in an apprenticeship, but they only cover half the cost if you're 19 or older. And there are people here aged over 19 and they're doing apprenticeships. We think they should get the same amount of financial support. And that way we'll encourage more employers to take on more apprentices. Well, what was frustrating here was talking to your people, saying that every month there are 200, 300 applications coming in if people want to be apprentices, but you've got so few places. So there's lots of young people who want to do apprenticeships, but they can't find the places. So we think there should be more places, and we can create more places if we cut down the amount of hassle and red tape for an employer that takes on apprenticeships, if we offer more money towards the training costs of an apprentice, and if we ensure that youngsters at school and college get proper information about apprenticeships. So we want to encourage places like Pimlico Plumbers and make it easier for them to take on more.
It's virtually impossible to get an apprenticeship at the moment. You know, we're only taking on youngsters now that are, you know, their father or mother already works for us, and we take on their sons and daughters. We're getting 300 applicants a month now for apprenticeships, and there's, you know, companies are just not taking on. They're going to become a thing of the past if, you know, the government doesn't bring in a scheme that encourages companies. At the moment, unfortunately, you know, we have to do all the funding ourselves, the wages. We get a small proportion from the government to help with the training, but it's nowhere near enough. You know, we could actually take on another 20 apprentices tomorrow, you know, if the government was to come up, or not the government, or the future government come up with a scheme where, you know, they turn their job seekers' money into a job allowance, i.e., you know, their unemployment benefits would go towards their wages. We would pick up all the expenses, and, you know, us as a company would be able to take on 20 apprentices tomorrow, and, you know, I genuinely believe that across the country people would take on more because, you know, we need an incentive rather than it costing us money. Every business I talk to wants to take on apprentices. I mean, at the end of the day, they're the future, they're the next lot of entrepreneurs, and there's only one reason why they don't take them on, and it's quite clearly it costs money. My message is quite clearly, we have a scheme, a great proposal that will definitely work, i.e. turn their job seekers' money into a job allowance. And I genuinely believe that, you know, there would probably be something like 500,000 new apprentices if they brought that in. It's something that, you know, they can't water it down. It's a very, very clear system. Unfortunately, the existing government have tried a proposal with Alan Sugar, total waste of time, wasted £3 million. They put 1,200 apprentices in. He needs to be gone, new government in, and use our scheme. We can work with this government. We all need to be drinking out the same teapot. And, you know, I'm telling you now, if we'd done that, then it would resolve so many problems. It would cut crime down on the streets. You know, it's a very straightforward, practical system. And, you know, I genuinely believe today, with today's visit from David Willetts, that we can work together.